Hi, Miss Amy. My name is Miss Ken, and I will be your therapist for today. So, what brings you in?
Well, I'm Amy. Um, I was referred by my primary care doctor. I just
Mm-hmm.
went and I saw him. I've been having some headaches, stomach pains, a little bit of digestive issues. Um, so I wanted to go and meet with him. He said nothing was physically wrong with me, and referred me over to you, I guess.
Okay. And so you mentioned that you had some headaches and some stomach pains. What is causing you to have the stomach pains and the headache?
I think it's probably a mental thing. I told him everything that was going on right now. And he told me I was probably feeling anxious, and said that anxiety can lead to some headaches and some stomach pains and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's not like achy, it's like I get knots in my stomach kind of thing. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then I told him I'm just not, I moved out of my husband's house about, I don't know, 6 months ago, maybe a year ago now. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and we have an 8-year-old son together. And so being on my own for the first time in 10 years is definitely difficult for me. We have shared custody of my son, so I'm only seeing him part of the time, and then missing out on a chunk of his life when he's with his dad is pretty hard. So he just wanted to
Okay.
come over and see you and talk about that.
Okay. So, we're going back to the headaches and the stomach aches.
Mhm.
Is there something that's causing you to have the headaches and the stomach aches? Or
Um, I mean, sometimes I'm going into work hungover. I'm working on a department store right now, so that is probably why I have the headaches.
hmm
Uh, Definitely getting home from work, and I'm used to working in a school. I was a teacher before my son was born, and then when my son was born, I decided to be a stay-at-home mom. So my husband's the one working, so this is my first time back at work in about 8 years. Um, so definitely when I get home from work, I'm just exhausted. So I'm having a couple drinks here and there. So the headaches are probably from that, and stomach issues maybe from that. Might just be mental. I'm not really sure.
okay. So, what was going on in your life when you first started drinking?
Well, I used to drink socially, like with friends when I was married. Um,
hmm
and then my husband would get mad at me for it. So I kind of stopped drinking when I was with him. And then now that I'm on my own, I can do, sorry, there's a lot of sirens. Um, now that I'm at home, on my own, I can do whatever I want. So
Okay.
that's where I'm at now with that.
Okay. And when you drink, how does that make you feel?
It definitely calms me down. I mean,
Mhm.
being alone in a house for the first time well, I guess when my son's not there.
Mhm.
And even when my son is there, being the only adult is very stressful sometimes.
Mhm.
So having a drink, nice little rum and coke,
Mhm.
um, definitely calms me down, eases the anxiety of it all.
Okay. So, with your drinking, do you hear things or see things?
If anything, it quiets my brain. I
Mhm.
constantly going a million miles a minute, thinking about things I need to do for my kid, thinking about whether or not I want to go back and get my teaching license again since it expired. Um,
Okay.
the stress of co-parenting with my ex. So it's constantly spiraling, and if anything, the drinking stops it. But no, I'm not hearing or seeing or anything like that.
Okay.
Nothing crazy.
Um, yes, ma'am. And so, with your drinking, do you see a significant change in your moods, or does your mood stay the same? Do it change?
Um, It depends on how many drinks I've had.
Okay.
If we're thinking, usually I've been told I'm a little high strung. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so less high strung when I'm drinking. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
the first the first couple will put me in a little bit of a happy mood, but once I've hit a certain point, I just get a little sad, I guess. Um,
Mm-hmm.
just because my life is not what I thought it was going to be at this point. It is very
Right.
different than what I originally planned. So sometimes that sadness and kind of hits me like a truck.
Right. Right. So, does your drinking, like, how many drinks do you have a day? One, three, five?
Usually ranges from about like 3 to 5. I'll usually pour myself one as soon as I get home from work,
Mm-hmm.
then another one with dinner, and then another one on the couch after dinner. And then when my son's there, it's usually about 3. But when my
Mm-hmm.
son's not there, it's usually about like 5 or something.
Okay. Okay. Um, when you drink, do you think that it affects your mental, or does it make your anxiety feel better? Does it make the anxiety worse? How does it make your anxiety feel?
It definitely helps my anxiety. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not, I mean, it's known to impair your brain. Um,
Right.
so I'm not thinking as much about all of the crap. It helps the anxiety for sure. I mean, that's part of the reason why I like doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not constantly moving. I'm not constantly thinking about my kid and changing his life in this way and everything like that.
And you mentioned about your son. Does he know about your drinking habits, or do
Um,
you keep that
I mean,
away from him?
I mean, he's 8, so like he knows that I'm doing it,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and he knows that it's mommy's drink. He can't have it. Uh,
Right.
but and he knows that I'm drinking, but he doesn't know that I'm drinking, if that makes sense. Like he knows that
Mm-hmm.
it's alcohol, but he doesn't really know what alcohol. I mean, he's 8, so
So, like, do you have like a certain cup that you have it in to keep it away from him, so he'll know, like, once he see that cup, that okay, stay away from that cup, or like, do you, drink out the bottle, or how do you do it to, prevent him from getting the juice?
um, I mean, I just use cups that we have around the house. Him
Mhm.
him drinking it is definitely a fear of mine. Uh,
Mhm.
it's like whole. I mean, we share water, we share sodas,
Mhm.
and typically my drinks are mixed with soda.
Mhm.
Like I've seen him grab it a couple times, and I have to quick stop him. So that's definitely a fear of mine. Like
Mhm.
maybe a special cup might be a good idea.
Right. Have you ever tried to stop or limit your use of drinking?
I mean, I stopped drinking when I was married, um,
Mhm.
just because he didn't like it and he didn't like the way that I acted with it, I guess. Um, but I have not stopped within the last year or eased it up or anything like that. No.
And so when you stopped when you was married, what happened? The reason why you stopped?
Well, I wasn't drinking as much then. It was really just when I was hanging out with my friends or sometimes me
Mhm.
and my husband would have a glass of wine with dinner or something like that.
Mhm.
Um, he just didn't like it. It was a him thing. And
Mhm.
I we were at a point in our marriage that I was going to do anything to make him happy, just to stick with it for our kid. So I stopped then. But it wasn't really a hard thing to do then because I mean I wasn't doing it as much, so it wasn't a huge thing.
Okay. Okay. Um, and you also mentioned about your teaching license. Are you in the process of going back to teaching, or what are
Um,
your plans with that?
I want to.
Mhm.
I know I've looked a couple websites and everything. It kind of sounds like a pain in the ass to get relicensed. I mean, when I
Mhm.
got licensed, I was fresh out of school. I had all the informations in my head. Um, so I'm interested in it. I'm a little worried on if my drinking will affect that. Um, but I'm not, it's definitely a thought in my brain, but I'm not making moves to do it, if that makes
Okay.
sense.
And why do you want to change your drinking habit?
I think I'm at a point right now where it's not causing an issue. Um, but I think that if I continue on this, it might start causing issues. I know,
Right.
I mean, within the last year, I went from not drinking at all to drinking every day.
Right.
Not
Mhm.
just a one or two kind of thing.
Mhm.
So it's definitely increased. And I mean, I want to provide the best possible care and be the best possible mom to my kid. And I don't want this to affect him in any way or my relationship with his dad. And I know if
Mm.
his dad found out, he would probably end up taking him away from me. So, and I never want that to happen. So I'm willing to do anything to keep my kid.
I understand that. Have you tried like to do other things other than drinking to help cope with your anxiety as well as your stomach pains and your headaches?
Well, Advil always helps with my headaches. Um, I've tried hanging out with some friends, but because of the divorce and all my friends were my husband's friends, and that got a little funky. So definitely not recently. I haven't done anything to stop, no.
Okay. Um, I would like to recommend some things that you could possibly do to help with or like to help you cope with
Okay.
your anxiety. Like maybe going for a walk, writing in a journal when you feel your anxiety build up. I would say maybe try to write in a journal about how you feel, and if you feel like the urge of drinking, you can also, write how you feel about that as well.
Okay.
The maybe trying yoga or exercising. Would you be up to trying that?
Um, are you asking me to stop my drinking? Because I'm not ready to do that right now. But I'm willing, I mean, like, yoga sounds cool. I could meet some mom friends maybe. So I'd definitely be willing to try that. The journal makes me a little nervous just in case my kid finds it,
Mhm.
but I could definitely try some exercise or something like that, but I'm not willing to fully stop my drinking right now.
So I wasn't, really asking you to completely stop, but like let's take baby steps into um s- stopping your drinking, because like you said once before, you feel like it will hinder you in regaining your license, and that could happen. And you said you also didn't want your husband or your ex-husband to find out because he could use that with the visitation with your son. And I know how you say you would like to be in his life and how you care about your son. And so, um, with your anxiety when you're at work, um, I remember you saying you had anxiety on the job as well. Maybe like when you feel that your anxiety build up, you can maybe talk to your supervisor or your manager and see if you can, maybe step outside for a minute and get some air, or, because I don't want you to be at your job and then you have an anxiety attack. And so, I say maybe talk to your boss or your manager about you stepping outside, maybe getting some fresh air to calm you down. You think maybe they will be up to, you know, doing it if you let them know that, hey, this is going on and I just need, to step outside and get some air. You think maybe they'll be okay with it?
Um, I don't think I'm gonna tell him that it's an anxious thing. Um,
Mm-hmm.
But people take smoke breaks all the time, so I'll just tell them I'm taking a smoke break. But yeah,
Okay.
Linda, I'm willing to take breaks here and there if I need them.
Oh, okay. So, I will schedule you to come back in about a week and a half to 2 weeks, and I will see how you have progressed with everything.
Okay,
Again, my name is Miss Kentra, and I will see you in about a couple of weeks.
okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.